Even though you're doing a cartoon, the character Aladdin himself had to be really sincere and believable. And Scott had this ability to really communicate a vulnerability that I really liked with Aladdin.
How are you doing? Nice to meet you.
I think the thing that helped me get this role was the fact that I didn't know it was a big deal. I really had no idea.
Yeah, and I think what you just did there is good as far as getting a little feeling of, like, you know, play along, you know.
And my best friend, who was obsessed with animation at the time, was like, whoa, this is a big deal, this is going to be huge. But by then I was so far along that I basically had the part. It was too late for me to screw it up. Thank God.
Aladdin was a passionate character, and Scott approached it from a very passionate side.
You just gain control, whatever it is that's happening. You know.
It wasn't so much an intellectual exercise. He really crawled into the feeling of the character.
Well, there's this girl.
Wrong! I see myself in certain scenes of the movie. For example, when Aladdin is talking about this girl, Jasmine. He's saying that she's fun and pretty, and of course it sounds like me. But it looks like me, you know? There are certain scenes where I go, that's definitely me.
I want to thank you for stopping that man.
Not many people would have done that.
Linda Larkin, who did the voice of Jasmine, was such just a breath of fresh air as far as I was concerned. She really loved this character too, and you could tell that as well.
Jasmine starts off huffy and dissatisfied.
Then maybe I don't want to be a princess anymore.
And she really makes a human connection to somebody from a completely different world.
Sometimes you feel so...
You're just
trapped.
I feel really, really fortunate to have had this opportunity.
Say we're only dreaming.
a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew.
Lea Salonga was the singing voice for Jasmine. She had just come off her success of Miss Saigon and was just so wonderful. She just really brought that song, A Whole New World, to life.
Salonga and Brad Kane, they're going to be singing for us today just before they go into the booth. This is the orchestra.
I was 21 when I recorded it, and I just tried to picture flying and, you know, and keeping the sound just light, and imagine you're on air and everything on a carpet, and it was wonderful.
If you were in the recording session watching her, really puts her heart and soul into it. And that just forces us to take it to the next level and really, you know, because we have to put our heart and soul into it too.
Jafar?
Princess. Jafar, I'm stuck. How may I be of service to you?
I didn't know Jonathan Freeman, and based on some of the storyboards, of course, I had this very skinny, elegant, bizarre-looking person in mind.
Yes.
And then I heard that Jonathan was at the studio doing some more lines for the movie, so he came and visited me in my office. And I almost couldn't put his voice with his body together because he's not skinny, he's very friendly and jovial.
And here's the rub. Rub-a-dub-dub.
Jonathan has, in the performance anyway, sort of an oily, insincere quality which I needed to find out in terms of what mouth shapes would I use.
For the 10% of kids who are not attracted to the nice guys, it's very gratifying to know that, you know, Jafar is a hero in some way for them. Not because he's evil, but because it's incited their imagination in some way. I like that. I like that idea.
Oh, wait a minute, Jafar! What if you were the chump husband?
Originally, as scripted, when I read an early draft of Aladdin, Iago was a stuffy sort of butler type, very dry, very deadpan.
There's no justice.
But we had to change the character's personality in the course of time.
It's absolutely criminal. That guy, he draws a picture of a bird, a bad picture of a bird at that. Not even a good. It doesn't even look like a bird. He draws a bird with teeth.
Of course, when they told me it was Gilbert Gottfried, it was like, you know, well, You're talking to the biggest Gilbert Gottfried fan in the world. I always thought he was a hilarious comic and a perfect choice for the voice. So I said, please, please, let me do it. Please, I'd love to draw that bird. So they were generous enough to let me. So it was great.
Hey, come on, help me out of these.
I started doing voices and imitations from about as early as I can remember. I was making noises and I could pick up sounds that I'd hear pretty easy. And then I found out that you could make people laugh by distorting what you hear. It sounds a little bit more like Sean Connery. Then you could destroy a class. From then, it was just like a big candy store. Okay. On Aladdin the movie, I played a little monkey called Abu, and we started on a realistic level, and so they would show me this picture, and they said we want it to have all these different emotions, so it's not just a regular monkey, but we'll start there, and then we'll kind of go into more human things, like maybe he's sad, and anger. Just kind of work off that basis. Was I surprised Aladdin would be as big a hit as it is? Yes, I was very surprised. That was kind of a breakthrough movie, and of course Robin Williams added an element to animation that I don't think we've heard before.
Let's make some magic! Let's blow this popsicle stand!
A doorstop would be a fabulous career.
Not bad! Good night, Alice!
Fairly early on, I think we had the idea of using Robin Williams as the genie, and as we wrote our first version of the script, that was one of the key ideas there, was that the genie was kind of a transforming stand-up comedian, very much like Robin Williams.
Hello, Aladdin. Nice to have you on the show. We took a comedy album of Robin's, and Eric Goldberg, great genius animator, took a little stretch of comedy off the album as a sales pitch, really, did some animation to it.
But first, before we do the play, I'd like to talk about the very serious subject of schizophrenia. No, he doesn't. Shut up, let him talk!
And so he came in, we brought him in, we showed him some storyboards, and we showed him Eric's test.
Once again, if there are any little children here tonight, we've used these words in a sentence.
And I have to say, one of the great thrills of my life was actually watching Robin Williams laugh at my animation. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. That's what we didn't expect was how much Robin was going to give us.
Come on, kid. See? Gotta get the snake, see?
Once Robin got in front of the mic, of course, all the celebrity impressions came out.
You need more power, Jim.
Don't be afraid. You had it all along.
I never did it. I am not at fault.
The most fun I had recording was the scene where Aladdin is standing outside of Jasmine's balcony, and he's got the genie as a bee buzzing in his ear telling him what to say.
Princess Jasmine, you're very
Splendid, wonderful, magnificent, glorious, punctual.
Punctual?
Sorry.
Beautiful.
Nice recovery.
And I recorded that with Robin Williams, and he was so funny. Because he would morph into all these different things, telling me what to do, and I tried so hard not to laugh, but I'm sure I ruined a couple of takes just from the laughter coming out.
All right, how do I look?
Like a vampire on a day pass.
The great thing about Robin, aside from his improv, was that he could really come up with sincere emotion, and I think it was important in this character, as with all the characters, to really get the audience invested in his plight.
To be my own master, such a thing would be greater than all the magic and all the treasures in all the world.
That's as much a part of the character as anything else. I always looked at it as a buddy comedy. Disney's first buddy comedy, you know, between this boy and this genie.
Al, if you want a winner, just be yourself.
And that really was the most emotional part of the story in many ways, and that was what was cool about Robin, was that he would totally invest in the emotional thing as well as the gags.
Thanks, Genie.
Oh, Al, I'm getting kind of fond of you, kid.
I don't care what I am. I'm free!
Offer void, we're prohibited by law.